All right, in this explainer, we're going to dive into a skill that's absolutely essential for anyone studying law, mastering the IRAC method, especially for analyzing problems in UK contract law.
So, have you ever stopped to wonder, how do lawyers actually think? It can seem like they're navigating some kind of complex maze. But what if I told you the secret isn't about memorizing every single law, but about having a clear, reliable mental map?
Exactly. The secret isn't about just cramming endless cases or statutes into your head. The real power comes from transforming that raw legal knowledge into a structured, logical argument. It's all about having a framework.
And that framework is called IRAC. It's a really powerful tool designed to help you organize your thoughts, taking a chaotic jumble of facts and turning it into a clear, persuasive legal argument. Think of it as your guide for every single exam and problem question you'll face. So, here's our roadmap. First, we'll cover the basics of what the method is. Then we'll break down each of its 4 parts. After that, we'll see IRAC in action with a practical case, go over some common mistakes to avoid, and wrap it all up with some final exam tips.
Okay, so let's get right into it and break down IRAC. What do these 4 letters actually stand for? Let's look at the 4 pillars that make this framework so effective for legal analysis. IRAC stands for Issue, Rule, Application, and Conclusion. It's a simple 4-step process. The key here is to follow these steps in order every single time. It builds this nice logical path from the problem straight to the solution.
First up is I for issue. Before you can find the answer, you've got to know the question. Your job here is to identify the precise legal problem that the facts of the case present. What is the core question that needs a legal answer? Next, we have R for rule. Once you've clearly stated the issue, you need to set out the law. This just means identifying and explaining the relevant legal principles, statutes, or key case precedents that are going to govern the issue you've just identified. Next is A for application. Now pay close attention here because this is the most important part of IRAC. This is where you move from just stating the law to actually using it. You'll connect the legal rules directly to the facts of your case. This is your analysis, and it's where you'll earn the most marks by showing your reasoning. And finally, we have C for conclusion. This should be a short, direct answer to the question you posed way back in the issue stage. It flows logically from your application and gives the final outcome. No new arguments here, just the result of your analysis. Okay, that's the theory. But to really understand it, we need to see it work, right? So let's move on and see IRAC in action by applying the framework to a simple contract law problem. Here is our scenario. Anna posts an advert online that says, "For sale, law textbook, £50. Ben sees the ad and replies by email writing, "I'll take it for £40. Anna then emails him back with a single word, "Sold." Our legal question is there a valid contract here? Let's apply the framework step by step. First, the issue. We state it as a clear and specific question. Is there a legally binding contract between Anna and Ben for the sale of the textbook? This pinpoints exactly what we need to figure out.
Next, the rule. We need to lay out the relevant principles from UK contract law. For a binding contract, we need 3 elements: a clear offer, an unequivocal acceptance, and valid consideration. We also need to remember 2 crucial points from case law. First, an advertisement is generally considered an invitation to treat, not an offer. And second, a counteroffer destroys the original offer.
Now for the application, where we connect the rules to our facts. Anna's £50 advert isn't an offer, it's an invitation to treat. This means Ben's email for £40 is not an acceptance, but a new offer, a counteroffer. That counteroffer effectively erases Anna's original price. So Anna's reply, "Sold," becomes the clear acceptance of Ben's new offer of £40. The consideration is the book in exchange for the money. And that leaves us to our conclusion. Based on that step-by-step analysis, the answer to our issue is yes, a valid contract was formed between Anna and Ben for the sale of the textbook for £40. Notice how it's a direct, concise answer to the question we asked in the issue slide. Knowing the structure is one thing, but applying it perfectly takes practice. So let's refine your technique by looking at some common mistakes students make. Avoiding these pitfalls will really strengthen your analysis. This slide highlights the difference between a weak and a strong analysis. A very common mistake is to merge the rule and application sections. Don't just state a legal rule and immediately apply it in the same sentence. Keep them separate.
First state all the relevant rules. Then, in a new section, apply them. Another pitfall is case stumping, just listing case names. Instead of just saying, see this case, you need to explain why it established that a counteroffer terminates the original offer and why that's relevant here. And remember, the application section is where you show your work. Don't jump straight to the conclusion. Your reasoning is what matters most.
Okay, let's bring it all together with our final section, some practical exam tips. This is all about turning this theory into top marks when it really counts.
First, always give a structured answer. IRAC provides that perfect structure. Second, remember that clarity is more important than length. A short, logical answer is far better than a long, rambling one. And this is vital. Examiners want to see your reasoning. They reward your analysis, not just your ability to remember legal buzzwords.
And if there's one thing to remember from all of this, it's this. If the examiner can follow your thinking, you are doing it right. IRAC isn't meant to be complicated. Its sole purpose is to make your legal reasoning transparent, logical, and easy for someone else to follow. And that is your guide to the IRAC method. You now have a powerful framework for thinking like a lawyer. The only question left is, what problem will you solve first?